I assume you did not get to go over to Fulton Brewery today.
No, I didn't. I've got a Founders Porter, dark, rich, and sexy.
Oh, yeah, I like all Founders. I want to drink more Founders. On my end, I am drinking a Full Walton Brewery. This is one you should get. It's 1010 Quarantino, and it's the owner Jim and Deb were telling me that it's the first one that they found that uses a lotus hop. So I was saving it so we could get on it because they say they don't know anyone else who's using a lotus hop at this moment. So
cool.
Here's a cheers. And I'm drinking in a Cannon TheBrewPill Brew Club glass from Georgia. But I don't know, mine tastes really different.
That's good. I'm gonna have to bring one of these over, like drop it at the doorstep, ring the doorbell, and off.
But like I said, Fort Walton Brewery over there is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday till 7:00 at night.
Cool.
You know, and they do the crowlers, which are the $5 a crowler, which is 16 ounces. They've been doing different ghosts, so Wendy's been getting a different ghost every week. And
one on the board.
Huh?
I didn't see one on the board for this week.
It ran out yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got a pig. It was pixie dust. So it was like a tangerine, lime, and something else. Wendy told me. We opened the growler. It was really good. Last week's was even the best one we've had, which was Little Prick, which was prickly pear. Basically, it was a pear with an extra taste, and it was freaking amazing. It's probably the highest rated I've gave them. And that's what I told Jim when we went up there to get more. I was like, "You need to make this again. This is incredible," because it's hard. It's that sour,
yeah,
but it's not too sour on the finishing notes. So, Mr. Essential, have you got to watch anything lately?
We've been doing some catching up on some like old TV shows and stuff. Kind of funny. I started watching. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called The Last Ship.
Oh, on TNT it was. Yes, I wanted to see that.
We started watching it like right as all this started going down.
Yeah.
About a pandemic. So we're watching that and we're seeing things going on and we're like, the Navy got a ship somewhere that's going to come save us all. So.
Yeah, I always wanted to see that. What are you watching it on Hulu or?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on.
I'll have to go over. Okay.
It's pretty good.
Now, do you find out there's more ships or something like that? If I remember the last season, they brought a lot more.
Yeah, basically the first season there's the last ship. There's their last U.S. ship, and then there's like a Russian ship that they're having issues with. And the second season, they start rebuilding the country and all that. And the last season that we're in, they just they commissioned a new fleet, and it's got like 5 ships because things are pretty bad up until the beginning of the season. So.
Oh, cool. Let's see, what are we watching right now? We watched The Kid Who Would Be King, because it's like every week there's free Showtime or free HBO, because we have DirecTV, and there's like every week they're throwing something like, please keep paying. So we basically at one point we got down to like 3% of our DVR, just stuff. So we watched The Kid Who Would Be King. I don't know if you've heard. It was like a new thing on King Arthur.
Did he get like cool friends to or whatever? And
it's some little kids, and then it's got Sir Patrick Stewart in there as well.
Oh, okay.
And he plays Merlin as the old man. But like as he gets older, he's like Mork from Mork, and he gets younger.
Yeah.
So most of the movie is a kid playing him, and this kid plays him awesome. Is the most unique character, Merlin. And it's funny. It's English. It's set in the English countryside, of course. But it throws a little shade at the Arthur thing. I mean, it's okay for a kids movie. Zane had to stop watching it because it scared him a little bit because it was fiery horses and these things on the horses chasing the kids. Yeah. But then he wanted to go back and finish it, so he did. Then we watched Fighting with My Family with
a little worried to watch that.
It's actually really good.
Okay.
I mean, it's got, Nick Frost as a dad and Lena Headey as a mother, and they're raising a daughter who ends up in the WWE. And The Rock guest stars in it. The Rock's got a part in it. It's got Vince Vaughn in it, who plays a trainer for WWE. And it's got a lot of the WWE wrestlers, and so it's really, really good. I mean, I got it for Wendy and Zane, and they told me how good it was, so I sat down and watched it. So it's a family movie. Anything else you've been watching? Any movies?
No, I haven't been watching much like movies and stuff. Actually, I take that back. We watched one movie this entire time, and it was called Airstrike or Air Raid. It has Bruce Willis and Adrian Brody.
Okay.
But it's a Chinese film, and basically it's set World War II. The Japanese are like invading China. They're doing airstrikes on the area that they're at, and basically it's like China's, last little air wing that they're using to try and, fight back. And I gotta watch movies so that I can have a standard, but it was not a great movie.
Even with Willis and Adrian Brody?
Adrian Brody was in it for a total of maybe 2.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And Bruce Willis was in there. He was in there quite a bit. He was like their commander. He was training them or whatever. But it was like, I think it was badly directed, and I think they were trying to cobble together too many storylines, and they just edited it wrong. But it was bad.
Yeah.
So.
I know it's been a while since we've got to have a drink together.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we did after Pensacon or not. I can't remember, because Pensacon was in February, I think beginning of March, wasn't it, or something? And they all ended up getting to Disney World just before they closed it down on the 15th of March.
Yeah.
And then everyone's kind of sat in their houses and just went to work on Essential.
Yeah.
But how about your video games? I know you had the GameStop in our mall had been going on. You picked up a couple of video games for your PS4.
Yeah, they were having a huge sale. I got a couple of games. I got a South Park game, a Star Wars game, and a couple of smaller ones that I've been looking at. Got like 5 games for like $30, so it was pretty decent.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did see you just before you went to that, because we watched your dogs.
Yeah.
While you were out of town until your parents were able to come by. Yeah, that's the last time I saw you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we'll pick it up and we can get back together sometime soon. But
yeah. But this could be a substitute, trying out the Skype or that for weekends. We might be, because my schedule, I'll be back to the Wednesdays to Thursdays next week. So that's the next time I go back now is Wednesday, and it's 11 till 9.
Wow. You been following any of the like small tidbits of movie news coming out?
I don't know. Just throw something out, then I'll tell you if I've heard it.
Well, like, what do you think of this whole thing with the movie theaters and Universal Pictures?
Oh, I've heard. I know today on Twitter, because everyone was saying it was AMC and Regal because of the VOD of Troll World Tour, and they both came out today and said we never said that. They're like, no, because people were outraged. Like, really? Like, Trolls didn't have a choice here. I mean, because they actually made some money for VOD.
Yeah.
And hey.
I think it said $200 million, and basically what they said was enough to pay their staff, so they keep paying them. So it was like, well, hey, why not?
Yeah, I mean, if they want to boycott, like, I'm not a big Fast and the Furious guy, but it makes money. You know what I'm saying? And the James Bond movies always make money, and so if a movie theater chain was that stupid to ban something that makes money, then maybe they need to go bankrupt. with all technology, that's the whole thing. Is ended up in on Twitter talking with I can't remember if it was Duncan or Ryan Johnson. I think it was Duncan Jones who was they were talking about the drive-ins coming back. And my only concern is getting the sound correct in your vehicle, because the screen can be big, and everyone was like, well, all the modern ones you could just tune into an AM station. I was like, oh, that's cool. I just didn't know if the quality would be better if they could do something with Bluetooth or not. You know what I'm saying? If there was a Bluetooth link to your phone, if it could be a little clearer or not, I don't know. But
I remember that was the box.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Those boxes were shoddy.
Yeah.
You're like holding them up to your ears. You're watching the big screen. You're like, what?
Well, for me, I was in the back seat, and it was always like my dad driving. And so, they have the volume knob on there. And if it was too loud for him, he would turn it down so nobody else in the car could hear it but him.
Yeah. That makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Watchmen on HBO?
No, I haven't gotten a chance to see that yet.
You need to start watching that, because I know you have HBO, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No. We did for a while, but we got rid of it.
We had free HBO for the weekend, and I think it was on week 7, so I got the first 7 recorded, and I'm on episode 5 right now, I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. It follows more along the book. You know what I'm saying? Because the book, Dr. Manhattan wasn't the big bad guy. There was a giant space squid.
Yeah.
And so this is like 10 years later or something like that, and there's still squid guts falling on Earth every once in a while. And it's kind of interesting because they've brought back the character of Silk Spectre, and they've mentioned Dr. Manhattan because he's living on Mars, and but it had John Johnson in there in the first episode, and he was a sheriff, and a lot of it's to do with Tulsa, Oklahoma, and these race riots, and it's really, really interesting. I think you should check it out if you have a chance, myself, because it's, if you like the movie, and I don't know if you ever read the book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if you read the book, it won't be hard, and it's got Adrian Veidt, who's played by Jeremy Irons, who I think he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's a little crazy the part he's playing because he's got like these clones. He's like in a prison or something, but it's not really a prison. And he's growing clones out of a lake. And like then he just lets them die, and then he chunks them over a wall. It's kind of weird.
The preview for Lovecraft Country.
I've seen the picture, and I saw it yesterday. Somebody posted on Twitter, and I haven't got to watch it, but you can tell me.
It looks pretty crazy. It's set, basically, it's almost kind of the same thing. It's set during like civil rights kind of, era. And,
yeah.
Basically, this guy, he gets a letter from his dad, and he's like, hey, I need you to come find me. Some weird stuff's going on. So he goes back to his like family's house, and they're like, what are you doing back here? And he's like, I'm looking for Dad. And he's like, there's some clues as to where he's at, and he's in Lovecraft Country, which is like I guess an area in New England. And when he goes up there to find him, first thing that happens is like they run into these creatures that are running through the woods. People are hunting them down. Creatures come out and just start killing everybody. And so it's got a lot of the creatures from Lovecraft and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
And I guess there's a cult that has kidnapped his dad and all that, but it looks pretty interesting. I can't wait for that.
I'll have to look that up. I know, Josh Trank, who did Chronicle, and then he did Fantastic Four, which he kind of had a meltdown after Fantastic Four. But he came out of nowhere and released this trailer for his next movie, Capone. Oh yeah, which is supposed to come out May 16th with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I haven't got to watch it, but everything they're raving about it. They're like, oh my, they weren't expecting Trank to throw this out,
It's that looks pretty good. He's like of course you know who Al Capone is, but in the trailer he's just this angry old man who's just murdering everybody. It looks really interesting.
Well, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Untouchables. I don't know if you ever saw The Untouchables. Mm-mm. with Kevin. Damn it, Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, and Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro played Capone. You know, and of all the sound clips, I think it was one where he's like walking around this table with a bat, and he's like got that look on his face like he did in Taxi Driver, and he's like, enthusiasm, enthusiasm, enthusiasm. And then he just snaps and starts beating this guy's brain in with a bat, and it's just splattering all over the table. And I'm like, God, I love this movie. You know, it's got one of my favorite scenes where there's a shootout in this train station in New York, and it's got this beautiful music going on, and it's in slow motion. And if you haven't seen it, I'll have to lend you the movie because I've got it on DVD. But The Untouchables going with the Capone, which looks really good.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot of movies have been pushed back. It looks like.
Yeah.
So James Gunn has said that right now he doesn't know that Suicide Squad has been pushed back because he's already done all the. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's got everything shot, and I don't know if they're still editing or what's going on, but he hasn't heard. He said as far as he knew, it was still in schedule, even though Marvel's pushed everything else back.
Yeah.
But how's your beer going? I'm almost done with mine.
About halfway through mine. Earlier I forgot it was one of the movies I did watch. Operation Overlord.
How is that? Because I've got that bookmarked.
That was good. That was.
Is it World War II?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a really interesting take on like the whole like zombie mythos and all that, and having the of course the American soldiers and of course it's the Nazis who are working on this formula for creating a zombie, and they're testing it on this town, and basically they get injected with it. Basically they're undead, but if you get too much of it, you become this super soldier undead creature. And trying to think of the guy, he was in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
He played it was like the Theon Greyjoy's uncle, but in this he's like a Nazi officer, and he ends up injecting himself with the stuff, and it becomes very difficult for them to kill. So they had to blow up the building basically to kill him. So it was pretty cool.
Wow. That sounds pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that on Hulu or?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember. I've seen that on HBO or Netflix as well. Because I don't have Hulu, so
yeah.
I've seen the name. I've got a bookmark somewhere. But